I'm a graduate research assistant, PhD candidate in modeling, simulation, and visualization engineering. My focus is on agent-based modeling and organizational systems.
So why do you think your advisor might hate you?
Because I haven't graduated.
But like, what specifically?
No. I don't think my advisor hates me.
I don't think your advisor hates anybody, but
yeah, I have a great advisor.
You do.
I do. He's a sweetheart. I tell him to yell at me more. He won't yell at me.
No. So wait then. Why would your lab supervisor, who happens to be Jose, why would he hate you?
For not getting journal papers out in time.
So like you write them, just not fast enough?
Just not fast enough.
Nothing's fast enough.
He thinks everything should have been done yesterday.
Seriously. Welcome to my world. So you're a woman?
I am. What? You noticed. Thanks.
Yeah. People keep noticing here too, right? They're like, oh.
Yeah.
What is it like to be a woman in STEM?
What is it like? You know what? It's awesome. It really is. You know, and most people think that it's hard because it's a man's world, which it is. But I embrace the challenge, and so that's what makes it so wonderful, you know, because I can do whatever I want. I can do the unexpected, and I want my daughter to know that she can do the unexpected. We don't have to be bound by the conventions that say you can only live in this corner. And so, you know, being in STEM allows me to show people that, you know, it's okay. It's okay to be a non-traditional. It's okay to crack the glass ceilings. It's okay to create a new world for us. And so it's a great time. And you know what, there's so many exciting things in science that if you embrace it, you can't help but have fun.
So I think you are in a really lucky situation because you have two advisors, really. I mean, your like lab advisor who does the projects and stuff, and then your dissertation advisor. Both of them are men, but obviously take really good care of your education, right? Like they really...
Absolutely. You know, I am fortunate in that the people that I am surrounded with are kind of, I don't want to say blind to the fact, but it doesn't matter to them that I am a female. They do not denigrate based on that. They expect me to perform at a given level and at the same or a better level than everyone else around me, and that forces me to expect more of myself. But I'm also fortunate in all of my co-workers and other wonderful people that help me out, especially when I'm frustrated because I can't get things right.
So you're in a lucky situation, and I think I've always been in a lucky situation as well, but there are a lot of women in STEM programs who feel really isolated because there aren't many of them, or they feel really guarded because we often have this imposter syndrome that we're, you know, not good enough, or that somebody's going to find out that we shouldn't be there in the first place. And so what advice would you give to someone, because you know the Leaky pipeline, right? A lot of women now, we outnumber men in STEM undergraduate degrees, and then by the master's and the PhD program, we are in the vast minority. And so what advice would you give to an undergraduate woman who wants to get into a STEM program because they love science and yet fear that they're not good enough, or that they won't be able to find a mentor? What would you say?
Well, you hit on it. Finding a mentor is absolutely key. Finding a trusted advisor, finding a friend, finding someone to talk to, because there are a lot of times when you will feel like you're alone in your journey, but you're not. So the key is to have somebody there.
How do you find those people?
How do you find those people? You actually have to go look. And I say that, but a lot of people are afraid to look, afraid to ask for help. And that's something we have to overcome. Confidence, I gave a lecture one time at a business function, and my topic was confidence is sexy. Okay, you have to find an inner confidence to be willing to go ask for help. You know, confidence doesn't mean you know it all, you have it all, and you do it all on your own. Confidence is the ability to know when you don't know.
So you have to be strong enough to be vulnerable.
Exactly, exactly. You have to put yourself out there. And unfortunately, a lot of times when we are scared, we try to masquerade like we're not, and we don't go ask for help. And what happens is that's the beginning of the isolation cycle. When we don't reach out to find a mentor, male or female, preferably a female if you can find one, simply because they'll understand a little bit more of the challenges that you face.
But anyone's supportive.
But supportive people, and you have to really be willing to listen, accept them challenging you, because if they're a really good mentor, they're going to challenge you. That's what you want. That's what you need. And if you don't accept that challenge, that's where it gets really lonely.
So, I am a recent mother. You have 2 children.
Yes, ma'am.
I was fortunate enough to finish my PhD before my baby came along, but you manage what is basically a full-time lab job and your dissertation and a family. How do you, what's your formula for work-life balance? Do you have like a...
The funny thing is my children force work-life balance. And it sounds really weird because you're thinking, oh, I have, but you know what? They have commitments, and I have to honor their commitments the same as they have to honor mine. So, when my daughter has a big soccer game and she's really excited, I'm going to be there. And if that means I have to tell my advisor or my boss that I'm going to leave now because I've got to go see my daughter play, I just remember that, that's important. And as long as you remember what's important, and they'll remind you as they get older, and they will let you know when you've let them down on their commitments. And you know what? No matter what I've accomplished at school, at work, any of that, disappointing my children is my greatest fear. I would never disappoint my children. And so that's really where the balance comes in. And I encourage them to support me, so when my days are getting dark and I'm not getting where I want to on my PhD, my children go, but Mommy, you can't quit because you promised we could call you Dr. Mom.
So that brings up a good point, and I'll out you here on camera, but
oh, gee, thanks.
Like many of us, I think you have contemplated quitting your PhD several times. We all waffle on it all the time, right? Like, you hate love your PhD, but there are some times when you legitimately contemplate quitting.
Absolutely.
I shared with you my pig farmer story today at lunch, but, I think it's important to think about what keeps us going, because all of us want to quit. All of us.
Yeah, I think everyone that I have talked to, we have a little dissertation group,
which is important. Yeah.
And I think there has been a time for all of us when, the world just wasn't right with the PhD, and we wondered why we were doing this.
I think you're not doing it right if you don't wonder why.
that must be, but as you say, the real thing is again the support we talked about before, the reality of people kind of holding your hand and saying it's okay, we all go through this. It's your advisor telling you, it's okay, I support you, but I really want you to finish. Which I've gotten a couple of times.
And from others.
Yeah, and from others. And so what I'm learning, I'm not there because you got yours and I don't, but what I'm learning is that it is a process.
It is.
And you won't like every part of the process, but you still have to go through the process. I tell my advisor all the time, why didn't you tell me this? And he says, I told you that. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't make me listen. So it is a process, and it's one that no matter what anybody tells you, you still go through.
Well, thanks for being on camera with us. I know it was hard, but we appreciate fabulous.
Well, it's
Thanks.
okay because you're going to pay me back in spades.
That was on camera. No.